Well, it seems like only yesterday we were in Berlin to have a look at what is now the old Hyundai Tucson. We got a preview of what is now the old outgoing Tucson, and we thought at the time it was really progressive design and advancement for Hyundai at the time and moving the game forward. And it looks like now, take a look at this thing behind me, this is the all new 4th generation Tucson. Looks like Hyundai's moved the game forward again. This is the first time I've seen it in the flesh, having had a look at all the concept photos online. And I tell you, it is a really, really sharp looking SUV. I love the styling. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. But I think on face value, this is a really, really attractive medium SUV. Let's take a closer look. The 4th generation Hyundai Tucson. The new generation Hyundai Tucson will go on sale in Australia in the first half of 2021, and we'll know full specification and pricing detail closer to the release date. So stay tuned to CarAdvice for all those details. Now, this is obviously my first impression with the new Tucson interior, and what's really interesting when you get behind the wheel is it feels like a Hyundai and it kind of looks like a Hyundai, but it doesn't. It's actually really, really premium. It's a fair step ahead. You've got a fantastic screen here that's integrated, doesn't look like an afterthought. I love that dynamic screen for the driver, really neat and easy to understand steering wheel controls, and the center console's nicely cleaned up too. This switch arrangement for the gear selector is clever because it doesn't mean you've got a big shifter here, but also that you can be minimalist with the center console. I really like the design. There's no doubt that Hyundai in the last decade has just come ahead in leaps and bounds in the way they execute this kind of thing. And this new Tucson, it's a really, really premium delivery on interior design, and importantly, it feels like an all-new vehicle. Have a look how much room there is here in the second row, and this would be why Hyundai Australia has decided to bring only the long wheelbase variant to Australia. We don't know final specification, obviously, and price, and there'll be little changes. Obviously, engines are still under consideration in terms of hybrid and plug-in hybrid, but we do know that in Australia, we're going to get the long wheelbase version, and this would be why. There's an enormous amount of room. Sure, this sits in the medium SUV segment, but it feels like a large SUV, especially back here in the second row. If you're a family buyer, if you've got a couple of kids and you're using this to get the kids around to and from school and sport, you're going to love how much room the new Tucson's got. So let's take a quick recap of what we know already about this new 4th generation Hyundai Tucson. We know in Australia we'll be getting the long wheelbase variant, which I think is smart because, as you saw when we took a look inside the cabin, there's a heap of room in that second row, and that's important for this market where these are default family vehicles. We also know that there'll be 3 generational changes on the engines that we are familiar with from the current Tucson as well. Importantly, we also know that hybrid and plug-in hybrid are under consideration, and the way I see it, if you look at the success of Toyota RAV4 in this market, Hyundai would be mad not to consider deeply a hybrid version of this vehicle for Australia. And we know that it's going to slot in really nicely into that segment that Australians love so much. I think the styling is fantastic. As I said to you before, let us know what you think in the comments section below. Stay tuned to CarAdvice.com because as all the new details come to hand and things like pricing and spec, we'll let you know as soon as we know. In the meantime, I think this is a really competitive entrant into the medium SUV segment for Hyundai.